Welcome traders, this is the chart review for 5/31/2019, Friday. I missed the epic bottom by a point. I'm going to show you exactly why it decided to turn a point in front of me. And if you like the analysis, want to support the channel, please subscribe. And if you have any questions or anything, please leave it in the comments. Appreciate anything you can do to help the channel out and help it grow. Okay, let's do it. Good evening, traders. It was a full week for a short week. We had a lot of selling this week, and this last day on Friday here, we didn't really do a whole lot from the open. We just kind of traded down in a range. Most of the selling happened right at the open, but it didn't even travel very far. Before the open, we had already made a low at 27.53.75. So keep these numbers kind of in mind. We're going to go over these here. Call it 27.54, 27.52, and 27.51, and then eventually 27.50. I called the 27.50 level first thing in the morning on the prep video. The original low from this morning before it took the big bounce right here was 51. Just kind of missed it by a point here, just didn't quite make it. Thought it would be kind of interesting to go over why we got the bounce at 52 and 51 and 50 and 54. So 54, 52, 51, and 50. a lot of noise there. So if we look back here on, I think, the daily right here, we can do a little bit of looking. So 54 was basically the shelf at the bottom of this node right here. If you've watched any of the previous videos, I always say, hey, we test the top of the node, we get a bounce. If it's weak, you're going to go down, you're going to test the bottom of the node, and then it'll bounce again. And then if it fails, it goes and tests the next top of the next node, bounces, and if it fails, it trades down. So we basically traded down into 54, which was the bottom. You got a small weak bounce off of that, and then we traveled to 52 was the, sorry about that, let me go back. I just want to be somewhat exact in my talking here. 52 and 51. So let's go back. So we traveled down to 52. So 52 is right there. And if you look real close, didn't mean to grab that thing. 52 is this shelf of volume right there. See, that's 51.75. That's 52. 52 right there. So that shelf of volume stopped us. And that's where it bounced. And then if you look down, the yellow line's actually sitting on it on 51. And it's a big shelf of volume, right? And then we said 50, and 50 was what? The bottom of the node. It was right here. So we bounced off the top. We actually bounced twice off the top, and then we finally settled at 50 and bounced off of that. So that was basically the area. I had picked 50 as the low. It didn't quite get there. It got pretty good bounces off the top of this node, and then after that it would have been down to 49, and I think I was actually pointing out 37 down here, but never even Never even got there. Let's kind of look at some of the other charts real quick, and then we'll go back to the intraday. So big down week. News kind of took over. You still have this big node right here, down here at 37 to tackle. Should fall through there pretty easily, down to 12 if it can get through there. So, and structure-wise on the weekly, you know, your big node's going to be way down here, down at the 25 area. That would be amazing to get down there, right? But we haven't been. I mean, look where we came from in December, all the way up. So daily, I showed you that. We can zoom back out and see just nothing but a big down day. Closed on its low. A lot of volume down here at the bottom. Again, this lines up pretty nicely down here with this other. I always talk about the pivots being clusters of volume, and that's what you have over here. And yeah, that's included right there. I keep on doing that. And this node, we're basically right into this area right there. Not really going to think that there's anything on the 240. I mean, we could go look at, actually not the 240, let's look at the 1200. So this was the low in the morning, 2751, and I thought I would just kind of show this. This is again the shelf right here. You can see that shelf of volume. That's why it stopped there. You can see the previous shelf right there at 2752, and the bottom at 2754, which was right there. And you can see it somewhat okay on this one. So this didn't really play out over here. It was actually kind of the accumulative volume all the way over here. 60 minutes, big sell off, just kind of grinded sideways. So let's take a look at some of the intraday. We got down to 51. I thought we were going to 50. Big bounce off of that, and it was gone at that point. And we traveled all the way up. If we zoom in on this part up here, you can see our first test was pretty much kind of like the bottom of this little volume node. Passes through it, goes up, gets into the low volume area right there. And let's see if I can grab this. So kind of following the same pattern, right? You get a bounce, you get a pretty nice bounce, 68 down to 66. And this one was 69 and gone at that point. I took this one, I didn't stay in it though. And so the top where the volume gets gets low is 2769. So you can see that this volume node, and this was the low right here, and that's where you started to encounter the pullbacks, and it pulled back a little bit. So that's how you're reading that volume node right there, and it was testing it. And if we move these forward, you're going to probably see the same, over and over again. There's the high volume. It's all a little bit lower. You can see you got a node all the way up through here, but basically it came into the low part, pulled off pretty good actually, and then you got to bounce up, test the top of the node, another pull off, and then it was gone after that. You had a little node right here which you tested the bottom of it, and then you basically tested the top of it. But that's how the volume nodes trade. I mean, it kind of plays over and over again, right? So Hard to see on this chart, so let's try and make it. But there's your high volume area where the two little ticks are on the candles. There's the high. You see the shuffle volume right on the orange right there. So you traded right into the shuffle volume, the high volume, and sold off. We move this down some, and there is your high volume node right there. Traded into high volume, pulled off. Let's take a look at the bottom down here. You can see the shelf of volume right there. Oop, I can't seem to disconnect it. Didn't quite make it, but there's the shelf of volume right there, and it traded off. So that's basically how the profiling of the volume works. So let's look over here. Let's see if we can identify what happened over here. There was the volume, pull off, pull off. And let's see if we can figure out the higher. Here's the higher volume. So you had these two little levels, and you see the reaction that you had right there. So scalping levels, you get the sell off right here. You can see that it tried to bounce right there. Let's see, 58.25, 59. It only went 3 ticks. You wouldn't have got a scalp out of that. Comes up, touches the line, nice pull off, keeps on going, but fails at this line already. Pretty weak. Stays underneath it. Pulls up, comes back, misses my line again. You get another pull off right back up to the line. That would have been a good scalp. Hadn't been there in a while. You had a reaction before. That was a pretty good one. A double reaction, back to the line again, worked again. You got another pull off on the line right there. Not sure if you would have got a scalp out of that one though. 58.25, 57, yeah, you would have got your point out of that. And basically you're up and over, and then a touch here, 27.61 would have eventually got you down to 27.59. Comes back, you can see that it definitely did the bounce off the line right there. Trades underneath it, comes back up. You just tested it twice, it breaks through, no problem. Doesn't trade to the other side, doesn't come all the way back. Has several reactions before the line right here and right here, so you wouldn't take that line right there. Trades up, finds support on it though. Trades up to it. Already had your bounce on it, came back too quick. You actually got a bounce right here. I don't know if you can see that wick or whatever, but that wouldn't have been any good. Trades through it, blows through it here, comes back, finds support on it, finds support again. This one would work, would have got a trade all the way across the range, failed. Down through there, and pull some more of this here. Probably wouldn't have got it, probably would have took too much heat on this one. Kind of questionable. You already had 2 touches right here, probably would have let that one go. Comes back, finds support on it, does a nice little bounce. This one, you get a little bounce right before, so probably wouldn't have took that one over there. Finds support on it. This one does a fall all the way through. It didn't work. So doesn't look like the scalping lines worked out too good. I didn't take a whole lot of stuff today. This one would have worked. This one finally got the bounce. You would have took a little heat on that one. 53.75, he would have took 3 ticks at heat. I don't know if he would have got out 53.75, 54.50. You wouldn't have quite got the point out of that. That's the low down there. Yep, just kind of weak. So scalping line's just not really doing it today. Usually they're a lot better, I would say, but I mean, there was definitely trades in there, but it just seemed like it was kind of missing. But this video is getting kind of long, and it's Friday, so I will see you on Monday, and have a nice weekend.